Good afternoon, PhD Committee and Dissertation Committee. My name is April E. Bell, and thank you for this opportunity to defend the proposal entitled Destination FAFSA Completion, the High School Student and Family Expedition to and through the Federal Financial Aid Application Process. The Dissertation Committee consists of Dr. Durham, serving as my chair, Dr. Fenster, and Dr. Brandon, MSDE, Lead Equity and Cultural Proficiency Specialist. She served as the statewide program manager for the Maryland Gear Up program, which is the USDE College Readiness Program. A detailed definition of college and career readiness provided by Conley is a student who is ready for college and career that can qualify for and succeed in entry-level credit-bearing college courses without the need for remedial or developmental courses. However, Conley soon acknowledged that his definition needed to include other key skills and resources, specifically parent support, peer support, and the financial capability to pay for college. To support students and families with paying for college, USDE, Office of Federal and Student Aid, as the nation's supplier of federal financial aid dollars, utilizes the free application for federal student aid as an instrument to secure information from students and parents who are interested in applying for financial aid to pay for college. This application is universally known as the FAFSA. So, what is the problem being addressed in the research? To secure the funds required to pay for tuition, fees, and college-related expenses, students seeking funding from financial aid granting entities must complete the FAFSA. It's the gateway to financial aid, such as grants, loans, and work-study programs. Every year, nationwide, students fail to complete the FAFSA. In the 2023 report issued by NCAN, they found that the class of 2022's non-FAFSA completers failed to claim more than $3.5 billion in the form of Pell Grants. And according to King, 1 in every 5 low-income independent students and 1 in every 4 low-income independent students failed to submit the FAFSA. And this resulted in their inability to take advantage of financial aid from the government and colleges and universities, all because they did not submit a FAFSA. A ripple effect, I'll say more so a domino effect, occurs when a student decides and follows through not completing the FAFSA. The effects are irreversible, with the loss of thousands of dollars that may not be recovered. My addressing this problem stems from my years working as a college and career readiness advisor for students, and now with adults, I'm a professional development trainer for college access advisors. Year after year, I work with hundreds of students and families, guiding and supporting them through the FAFSA completion process. And during this time, I found that students resisted and parents hesitated to complete the FAFSA. This research is both personally and professionally of great interest to me. The barriers to FAFSA completion. According to the research, there are 4 likely barriers to FAFSA completion. Number 1, college aspirations. Number 2, incorrect assumptions about college costs and the FAFSA. Number 3, debt aversion. And number 4, the complexities with the FAFSA. So, number 1, students' lack of college aspirations. Aspiring to college is one of the first steps in preparing for post-secondary education, according to Cunningham. According to Savitz, Romer, and Buford, one of the reasons aspirations and expectations play such a key role is because research suggests that too many youth rule out college as an option simply because they cannot see themselves as college material. Students may foreclose or prematurely decide that their college material identity, what it looks like, without fully exploring the possibilities, and they dismiss the idea of attending college without seeking and receiving appropriate information. Number 2, students and parents' incorrect information about college costs and the FAFSA. Research shows the disconnection between students' financial aid and their financial need and his or her understanding on what to do to access the financial aid. Students may not know what the FAFSA is. And according to Cunningham, many students and parents are unaware of or under or overestimate the cost of college, which complicates their decision to plan for college. Number 3, debt aversion. Students are often unaware that need-based grants and scholarships are accessed via the FAFSA. Students may think they have to take a loan. If they assume that loans are inevitable, debt aversion becomes a barrier. It's twofold. Over time, students' concerns regarding loans results in not applying for financial aid via the FAFSA. And according to Bergman, students who fear borrowing may not seriously consider the benefits of higher education, regulating themselves to lower paying jobs and fewer opportunities. And now for number 4, the complexities of the FAFSA. Within the education research sector, there is a universal agreement that the complexities of the FAFSA are a barrier to students' college access and success. Students and families with low financial literacy levels may be especially ill-equipped to access and utilize the college financial knowledge and financial aid resources needed to complete the FAFSA. It is a struggle for students and families to secure the financial documentation they need to fill out the FAFSA. This includes tax forms and supplemental income forms such as TANF benefits and Social Security benefits. More analysis is needed for these 3 barriers, and it's necessary to determine what mechanisms hinder or support students' FAFSA completion. The rationale. Fuller argues that across the history of financial aid, we see an evolution away from local citizen-initiated philanthropy to moderate government control and coordination, and finally, to full federal oversight of financing of a massive and complex system of financial aid. Of the federal government's convoluted system, students' access to and attainment of financial aid is contingent upon completing the FAFSA. There's an extensive and growing body of research regarding how a family's socioeconomic status influences specific variables, such as students' college aspirations and financial college knowledge, college affordability planning and student support systems, and FAFSA comprehension and FAFSA completion. However, little literature has been published about the above-mentioned factors concerning student behaviors, family engagement, and the influence of high school environment on students' FAFSA completion. In addition, past and current research has not addressed the alternatives that may contribute to students' decisions to not complete the FAFSA and the rationale of the consistent increase in non-FAFSA filers. The theoretical framework for this study. The study will use social and cultural capital theories to critically understand students' plans to apply for financial aid via the FAFSA and the fulfillment of these plans. Social capital is when individuals working in groups build relationships and effectively use their network connections to collaborate on achieving a collective goal or purpose, utilizing their shared values, resources, knowledge, and information. Now, for cultural capital, this entails the intangible skills, knowledge, and traits one holds based on basically its cultural capital is evident through an individual's or group's characteristics, customs, and behaviors. This study will examine the manifestation of social and cultural capital via family support, school support, peer influence, and their relationship to FAFSA completion. Before we review the research questions, let's set the context. Research shows a multifaceted interplay between socioeconomic status, educational aspirations, college knowledge, support systems, college affordability, and FAFSA completion, which are all identified to determine students' post-secondary degree attainment. However, FAFSA completion, as the most prominent, is an under-researched area. This study seeks to identify the most salient family and school predictors of completing the FAFSA. Additionally, recognizing that knowledge about financial aid is typically gained late in high school, this study seeks to identify the relationships between high school students' engagement with family and school supports and planning to complete the FAFSA in 11th grade. The study will also research their relationship with FAFSA completion within the fall college enrollment window among those who initially did not have plans. The following research questions will guide this study. What demographic, family, and school supports predict high school students having plans to complete the FAFSA? What reasons do students supply for not planning to complete the FAFSA? To what extent does each variable within a constellation of variables, which are student, family, and school supports, predict FAFSA completion by the fall after high school graduation? And are different sources of support more salient for students who initially do not plan to complete the FAFSA? As depicted within Figure 1, conceptual diagram of key constructs. The model illustrates the relationship among key constructs. Illustrating the first goal, it investigates the relationship between high school students' characteristics, gender, race, ethnicity, parent socioeconomic background, and plans to complete the FAFSA. And illustrating the second goal, to examine how family and school-based college-going supports mediate the relationships between student and family characteristics and plans to complete the FAFSA, as well as how the constellation of home and school support variables mediate the association between planning for and actual FAFSA completion. The data source. Data will be extracted from the NCES High School Longitudinal Study of 2009, also known as the HSLS-09. It's a longitudinal data source of more than 21,000 students identified by NCES that are eligible ninth graders in the fall of 2009 from more than 900 high schools. This data source is ideal for this research because it follows a nationally represented cohort of ninth graders from 2009 to 2016. It collects information from students, families, principals, and school counselors on how students explore, plan, and transition through high school to post-secondary destinations and the workforce. The HSLS-09 is one of the few data sets with extensive survey questions and responses from students, parents, principals, and school counselors regarding 1, socioeconomic status, 2, family, school, community relationships, and 3, experiences with the financial aid application process, and the FAFSA. The data collected is as follows. The outcome variables are plans for FAFSA completion. This data is collected in the 11th grade. Reasons for lacking plans to complete the FAFSA, data collected in the 11th grade. Actual FAFSA completion data will be collected in the fall after high school graduation. The independent variables are student educational aspirations, parent demographics, student demographics, and school characteristics. Now, the two independent composite variables are family supports and school supports. For family supports, home influencers. So example measures are parent family members influence the student's college going decisions. For financial preparation, is such as parents saving for college. Information gathering, such as the parents secured information from various sources about the FAFSA. And actions and activities, such as they arranged or participated in financial aid related opportunities or events. For school supports, school counseling program goals. Did the school emphasize graduation requirements, diploma requirements, or college readiness? School actions and activities. Did the school conduct FAFSA completion initiative, such as one-on-one counselings to complete the FAFSA? School social influencers are peers, teachers, coaches, and counselors, and their influence on the student's college-going decisions. And school parent engagement, such as principals reporting on parent engagement levels at the school. So, the analysis techniques. This study will use an exploratory approach to answer the research questions. All analytical variables will be explored using univariate descriptive techniques to establish variable properties and identify outliers and missingness levels that could potentially bias estimates. Reliability tests for newly created composites will be performed before analysis that address the research questions. So for research question number 1, I will use a series of multivariate logistic regression models. For research question number 2, I will use univariate descriptive analysis. And for research question number 3, I will use a series of multivariate logistic regression models. So the potential limitations. I will not be able to draw causal conclusion. The results will be correlational. Also, the school characteristics are endogenous. The quality of school strongly affects the family characteristic. They are difficult to tease apart regarding their unique effects on the outcome of variables. The potential for bias in self-reported surveys. For example, selective memory. This is when survey respondents remember or not remember experiences or events that occurred at some point in the past. And social desirability bias. This is when survey respondents provide answers according to society's expectations rather than their own beliefs or experiences. I want to thank you, and now I will take questions.